2015 was a very rough year. Had a lot of different types of breakups, relationship, friendships. So all in one. So um, the poems are a bit abstract, so I will give a bit of an explanation of them, so you guys know what I'm speaking of. So the first one I'll be sharing is called "My Sunshine." So cheesy. So I used to call my ex my sunshine. So, so as I read the poem, there's a lot of metaphors to light. This is a type of relationship where it was a bit too premature, where the girl ends up feeling like she's too much, he's not ready, and in many ways you start to drift apart, and you're not sure what you're doing wrong, and there's very little you could have done. It just wasn't meant to be. So I just have a random instrumental that I'm gonna speak to. I like to speak my poems to a song. So. My sunshine. I stared into the sun, blinded by those ultralight beams, ever so caught up, stargazing in awe. Eventually struck by the lightning in the hurricane, in a fury, hot and cold winds from different spheres collided. Sparks colliding like a rushing wind, tornado-like speeds, no clicking of the heels could turn this chaos into a home. How do I navigate through the dark when my brightest star has gone out? How do I trust my internal compass when it drew me into the rays of a dying star? This star which shone so bright to the naked eye, illuminating its surroundings by absorbing the light sourced from its comfort zone with its carefully curated dimensions, comfortably drawn zones of even proportionality, no room for too much. An alternate dimension different from the world I inhabit, a star which became my center of gravity, exposing my core. Did I wrap my arms too tight, make the light tap out? Did I take up too much space, forcefully shifting the foundation underneath, sending shock waves which threatened the lighthouse, exposing myself, my inner wirings and workings, short-circuiting the processor? Questions which shall remain unanswered. Plate full, no desire to shift the load from that existential plate onto cupped hands ready to share the burden and bury the brunt of the rips and ripples. Earthquake. Only a matter of time before the eye of the storm shifted and each tear made landfall. Caught up in the beauty, there was a premature sunset, questioning my questions. I spoke, you listened. I sunk by design, you imploded by habit. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In the hands of the Creator, fate resting in a single breath, ships sailing further into the horizon, still catching glimpses of the light. I stared into the sun, and now I see why love is blind. Thank you. And I'm gonna do one more piece. This one is called All Up in My Feelings. This was about a friendship breakup, and it was one of those things where it wasn't meant to be, where I used to see this person treating other people better than me, and knowing that behind the scenes, our relationship was never as good as it seemed. That was not supposed to rhyme. All right. I'm sensitive. I see everything and I feel everything. I always have and I always will. Let me tell you how I feel. We all feel. We don't all act like it, nor act out on our feelings. We don't all feel the same depths, but we all feel. Some are empathetic and some are not. Some fail to see past their own feelings and step into those of others, resolute on feeding the feelings which enshrine a sense of self-importance. To some, feelings are pathetic. This ignorance a sign of defiance, a sign that they've defeated this giant, standing atop its shoulders, merely a chip on the shoulder. Pride, self-accomplishment, me syndrome. All strokes of a selfish spirit conditioned to be this way as a form of retaliation against conditions within the past, and ultimately the only brushes which made available to paint the present. Brushes painting in a frozen state, tearing at the weak canvases. Canvases weak because they have more give. Tearing up weak canvases with bristles always warm enough for the more gallery-worthy masterpieces. Not all feel this frigid aura. Alas, not many are allowed close enough to risk frostbite. But those parts of the body, unfortunate enough to succumb to this fraught fate, an unimaginable pain awaits. Frost-bitten fingers fall, failing to listen to the fear they felt, in all fairness. Feelings in the right hands are not the sign language of weakness. They guide the laws of attraction, but can be used as weapons of mass destruction. This is why I'm sensitive. This is why I see everything and I feel everything. I always have and I always will. This weakness is my weapon for protection. Thank you.